olden times.
But they also had like a list of of radio stations you can call up and request.
I love it. I love that. I love the DIY part of it. It was cool, you know what I mean? And it's something you had in your hand, and
yeah, someone made photocopies of these, folded them up, and sent them to all.
I didn't do that.
Yeah, it wasn't you, no.
But to be honest, I wouldn't have known how to work the copying machine.
But this is like,
I'm the singer.
this I thought was cool. It's like, can the Black Crowes break into the top 40? Only you can answer that question. And it had all these request lines to call up your radio station.
You know what? I don't think we did. So you.
You never did. No, that's not true. You definitely
you didn't
did.
call the number enough.
Yeah. Right now, I'm going to tell everybody, go call up iHeartRadio and tell me you want to hear rock and roll music. Tell me you want to hear the Black Crowes, okay? This weekend. Request it.
Yeah.
Wanting and Waiting is the song.
That's a great idea. Go back in time and call the DJ.
Yeah.
Call Alan Freed.
DM the DJ. But this I thought was fun. It was like news headlines. Black Crowes thrown off the ZZ Top Tour.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yes, of course I do. It was like we were fired.
But this is what a rock and roll band does.
But you know what? It worked in our favor because, well, I'm great friends with Billy Gibbons many years later, and
yeah.
But at that time, David Frick was in Atlanta. We were playing the Omni, the old arena there, and they used to have Miller Beer banners. ZZ Top was sponsored by them, and we were really hardcore about our independence and rock and roll.
No corporation.
We'd go out there, yeah, we don't sing for this and blah, blah, blah. And they were like, if you keep it up, we're going to throw you off the tour. And
you did it.
I did it, but it was a little bit, we manipulated the situation a little bit because it was in Atlanta, our hometown. We were doing the cover story for Rolling Stone. Frick was in Alan Freed.
DM the DJ. But this I thought was fun. It was like news headlines. Black Crowes thrown off the ZZ Top Tour.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yes, of course I do. It was like we were fired.
But this is what a rock and roll band does.
But you know what? It worked in our favor because, well, I'm great friends with Billy Gibbons many years later, and
yeah.
But at that time, David Frick was in Atlanta. We were playing the Omni, the old arena there, and they used to have Miller Beer banners. ZZ Top was sponsored by them, and we were really hardcore about our independence and rock and roll.
No corporation.
We'd go out there, yeah, we don't sing for this and blah, blah, blah. And they were like, if you keep it up, we're going to throw you off the tour. And
you did it.
I did it, but it was a little bit, we manipulated the situation a little bit because it was in Atlanta, our hometown. We were doing the cover story for Rolling Stone magazine, and there were 2 shows. And we were like, David Frick's coming the second night. Don't get thrown off the first night. Get thrown off the second night.
Yeah, because you got to get the article somehow.
Yes, of course. We had to solidify our bastards moniker.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're happiness bastards. Is what it all comes down to. It absolutely. And you actually did that. Everything you did was super rock and roll. You're one of the best frontmans I've ever seen. I've seen a zillion shows that you've done, and you crush it every single time.
Thank you very much.
You're fantastic, buddy, and I'm so happy that you're here. Can you tell everyone who made this cover?
Yes, my beautiful wife, Camille Robinson.
She's a graffiti artist?
She was a graffiti writer, and she's an artist. And when we went to Nashville to make the record, I worked the same forever. I write and I write and I collage and I draw and I write in little moleskin notebooks.
Yeah.
And then when it's time to make a record, I transfer those ideas to a big notebook, and I was like, babe, just paint Happiness Bastards on it. And she did, but it was in the wrong format. And then if you see the record, when you buy the record, she had the idea of painting over our old album cover. So this is Southern Harmony Musical Companion.
Look at that. If you zoom
I know
in,
you like that one.
That's one of my favorite. That's the actual. So
it was cool. The back is the back of Shake Your Moneymaker. You could see through the paint and stuff. So
I don't think anyone's done that.
I liked it because of the vandalism, and but it was also a cool way, you know, to repurpose and to reestablish ourselves. And, you know, we kind of feel it's a new chapter for my brother and I.
Yeah, I mean, what is it, 15 years since the last?
15 years since the last, like, new music, yeah. And
you and your brother, I understand that you get into a fight and you go, we're not talking anymore. The band's breaking up and we're not talking, I think is what you said.
That's pretty much our style.
Yeah. Do you always fight with each other as being brothers?
Of course, of course.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it's, again, you know, people always ask because it's been 35 years or whatever, and they say, do you have any regrets? Would you do over? And I said, no, you know what I mean? I couldn't do it over because, to be honest, adversity is the thing that makes us who we are and how we deal with adversity. And, you know, rock and roll, very high pressure situation when we were young, when rock and roll was this like woolly creature roaming the land.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot of stuff going on.
And how did you reform? Did you run into each other at like your...
You know, it was just one of those things. With time comes perspective, and with time comes hopefully wisdom, and with time comes acceptance. And again, my wife also was like, let's get to the bottom of this. And it had been many years since we spoke and since we worked together.
I met Cheyenne.
Yeah, my daughter.
She's
14.
But she's talented.
She is talented.
She's in a band, like, playing bass.
She plays bass.
That's exactly what I want. That is fantastic. She's got it, buddy. Why not? I mean, so your dad does this, keeping the family. She knows how to do it.
Yeah.
She knows how to do it.
3 fans, 3 minutes. You ever do that full blast?
I should have put on a song because I couldn't.
These are the style rods. They literally have sparkles on the sides, and it comes
simpler way to make a chord sheet, in my opinion. Turn this light off. Much better late night vibe. And don't feel like there's anything wrong with playing through your entire thing. What did I see? Just by dance to it, of course. Okay. And actually, that was probably because then it really does go back into it. Why don't we just do that? You just said it. I think that doesn't record to me anyway. I can do this. Well, that works. I don't do it yet. Oh, baby, I love your way every day. Oh, baby, I love your way. Wanna be with you night and day. Shadows grow so long before my eyes, and they're moving across the page. Suddenly the day turns into night. Sorry. Far away from the city. Oh, that's right, yep. But oh, don't hesitate, 'cause you're loved. Long way. That's what I read. Long way. It's actually that. Let me go look at it again. I've probably read it correct from, so I just made this. Oh, I just probably got on record. I was going from memory or something. Did it just say D or D7? Yeah, that was a D7. Okay. day. Yeah. Oh, baby, I love your way. Wanna be with you night and day. Shadows grow so long before my eyes, far away from the city. But oh, don't wait. Oh, huh. Okay, I will say that I think it is necessary. I was hoping it would have. I think it's not. To write out where each part starts and ends. I think you just gotta get good during the intro, and that's the real secret. Let me try again. Ooh, baby, I love your way every day, yeah. Ooh, baby, I love your way every day. Shadows grow so long for my eyes, and they're moving across the page. Suddenly the day turns into night. Far away from the city, but oh, don't hesitate, 'cause your love won't wait. Oh, baby, I love your way every day. Wanna tell you I love you every day, yeah. I wanna be with you night and day. The moon appears to shine and light the skies with the help of some fireflies. I wonder how they have the power to shine. I can see them underneath the pine. But oh, don't hesitate, 'cause your love won't wait. Oh, baby, I love your way every day. Wanna tell you I love you every day. Yeah, I wanna be with you night and day. I can see the sunset in your eyes, brown and gray and blue besides. Clouds are stalking islands in the sun. I wish I could buy one out of season, but don't hesitate, 'cause your love won't wait. Ooh, baby, I love your way. Wanna be with you every day, yeah. Wanna be with you night and day. Oh, baby, I love your way every day, yeah. Wanna tell you I love you every day. Wanna be with you night and day. Wanna be with you night and day. Wanna be with you night and day. across the page. Suddenly the day turns into night. Sounds good. Far away from the city. But don't hesitate. 'Cause your love won't wait. Oh, baby, I love your way every day. Wanna tell you I love you every day, yeah. I wanna be with you night and day. The moon appears to shine in the skies with the help of some fireflies. I wonder how they have the power to shine. I can see them underneath the pine. But oh, don't hesitate, 'cause your love won't wait. Oh, baby, I love your way every day. Tell you I love you every day, yeah. I wanna be with you night and day. I can see the sunset in your eyes, brown and gray, and blue beside. Clouds are stalking islands in the sun. I wish I could buy one out of season, but don't hesitate, 'cause your love. Wait, is this song not ridiculously popular? It's 44 mil, but that's not. I don't know most of these songs. Wait, is it Big Mountain? What is all this? Because this song is so familiar in my head. And that fucking sun scares me. This thing gives me horrified vibes. Especially whenever I Actually, I like mine better. I wanna be with you night and day. I think he's saying it wrong.
Country are we becoming? And now a rebuttal from Eminem.
With this cute.
Could not.
How do I do it all? With a little help. And to support my family's immune health, I choose airport.
Oh, you gotta do the song. Yeah, you know what's good? Do a 3-minute song. I was like, perfect. I don't say I know what the song is. I tripped it. It's like this song. Kind of scratch fever. Oh, Alice. Like this. You have any Johnny Rebel? I think it's cold. I don't know. Seriously, it's like, what, cold? Yeah, just being stressed like that so fast. Like, it seems like I'm making a lot of stress on the part. But I don't know.
Not stressed on it.
I'm so congested. I'm fine. How do I fix that fucking shit? You ever see this with his gas? Have you ever heard of that? You take your nose and add gas inside right here and inside and stuff. By shaking your fingers. And then it's like this. I'm clear. And then you do. Make sure you say your fluff. Get really hard and just and you're breathing completely normal after. Yeah. You put on like tan Velcro shoes. What else is there?
Interesting propaganda.
Yeah. They're trying everything. They're throwing it all over the kitchen sink.
The only way to get through it is study, maybe now it's like maybe like food in the household or can actually basically. So like the core drive is the same, but I think the applied principle of thinking is basically
Right, so is your concern essentially something like the observation that these people are bereft enough of substance that it's difficult for them to take advantage of equal opportunities even if they are presented equally?
yeah.
And you have some belief that
Oh, dude.
you have some belief that there
No.
is room for state
Dice, no.
the level
It's not good. Dice, you shouldn't.
Yeah, to varying degrees, yeah.
Okay, so let's start talking more broadly on the political side. So, how would
Can you move this?
characterize the difference in your opinion between the left and the political viewpoints?
On a very, very, very broad level, sure, maybe, yeah. Yeah. Initially it was like Christian conservative, and then it became like libertarian conservative.
Any idea about
Right, what? So, party
so
two, then
you've
stuff.
established a reputation.
Yeah.
So how would you characterize your reach now? How would you quantify it?
I think well, can you be more precise?
How many people are watching your a typical video that you might be what are you doing for subscribers say on YouTube and total any idea about total views?
Yeah, well, I guess my starts on YouTube, I have around my YouTube channel. I think I probably do between all three channels, I think around 15 to 20 million views a month. And then I live stream to anywhere from 5 to 15,000 concurrent viewers a day for hopefully around 8 hours a day. Yeah.
Okay, so you have quite a substantial reach. And so you said that initially you were more conservative leaning, but that changed. What did it mean that you were more conservative leaning, and how did that?
You know that people. It's like, look, for example, right? For example, okay. So I'm going to make Radio Free Europe. Radio Free Europe did this really great interview session where they literally went to people that were in these gulags, and it was so funny because when Radio.
Yes, I do.
No.
How do you? It's very simple. You're born into the right family. You have connections to the right people.
You can't answer.
What seems you things
What does it take to get on the ballot in China?
You have to have the right
You don't know
connections.
the
Yes, I do.
No.
I do know. You can't just all of a sudden pop up.
Have you read the law? Have you read the
What
law?
happened
I
to Tankman
actually
and
have
Tank?
actually
No,
read
it's like,
through. No.
you think
Hold
the
on.
law actually
Here's
applies?
the fact.
So what happened to the Tiananmen Square?
Listen, this is the answer.
What happened
This
at
is the
Tiananmen
answer
Square?
that Charlie Kirk doesn't know. Because he has no idea how to
What happened at Tiananmen Square?
You need to get
How about
10
Tibet?
signatures to get on the ballot in China. That's it. 10 signatures. How many people does it take to start a recall in China?
How many temples did they destroy in Tibet?
How many?
So you think you could recall a YouTube thing?
How many people do you think it takes?
You understand, I have to be honest. You are such an unbelievable fool to believe that China actually has a democracy.
Well, look, here's the thing. They've tripled their average wages. They've eliminated extreme poverty. They have amassed popular support in China. They have the strongest economy in the world. And right now, they are...
How many people live in abject poverty in Western China? More people than the population of America do not have access to clean water or toilets, and that's your idea of lifting people out of poverty. Let me ask you this question. 26 million people forcibly locked down in Shanghai. Cats are being put into entire bags and murdered. If you have hope,
What is that laugh? I can't get over this video. I keep trying to not watch it so much. But it's actually good. It's actually fucking crazy to watch. Who does he work for? Turning Point? Okay. Man, I was in Turning Point for 1 second. Am I still recording? I hope I am. I actually don't know if I am, but I'm gonna be anyway. I was actually in Turning Point for 1 second. Are people saying for like run for something in there because I was obviously like a good debater. I didn't even know that was like in style. I had just been in a speech and debate as a high schooler for like 2 seconds. I went to like one, maybe 2 events total. I was the gayest in the world. Because honestly, all I really wanted to do was write something original. Everyone does like covers first. You know what I'm talking about? It's obviously not a word they use, but people like the main category is like the speech side of it, which is more popular than the debate side. Is like going in and like doing speeches that have done well in the past. Like, it's not your speech, it's something like a handful of years ago. That's some other kid like won a championship with or something. You want you to learn it like basically verbatim and then go up and recite it for like a score from a judge. It's just so gay. You should just be having kids write speeches and then go up and perform them. That's all. Everything they do in education is like the opposite way of how you should teach. It's very strange. It'd be so easy to be a professor if they're just left to freely teach and then see how well the students do at the craft. But there's ways to test skill, relevant, necessary ways to test skill. I'm not trying to train anyone to do anything, they're just trying to test your intelligence at each level. So they can already start sorting you out into categories. It's very strange, it's very scary. Useless work. $18 to $25 years of IQ testing for what? So you can eventually give up on the system and go do something that's never been done before. It's like the only option at this point. It's gay.
Okay, that's your idea of a good society? 20...
Oh yeah, but one of the many ways that they're backwards is that they don't encourage you to just, go out and figure out how to do the thing well. Because that's not the idea in a student's head. The idea is you get a good grade, but whatever the rules are to get a good grade are something arbitrary. Even if it's it's at least an arbitrary set of tasks and set of knowledge to gain. You've had no voluntary reason to go learn, so there you go. And so at the end of the day, from like speech and debate, it's probably gonna make you a gay fucking retard. But whenever I was in it, I was only in it because I knew that I was good at getting on stage and talking, especially with some kind of attitude and some kind of flair. I didn't really get to express that at all. So then I just went into, ultimately one day, I heard about this political organization called Turning Point. They'd advertise themselves as non-partisan. No, we're just political. I don't know if I directly asked. I think there might have been information that they were technically a conservative organization, but it wasn't presented that way to that's as if that's what you're getting into as a student. And so I went to a meeting. People told me I should run for some kind of club office, some kind of position in the club. I was like, yeah, I'm sure I will. And then I realized that they are just like a conservative organization. And I was like, oh, I don't really, I'm just not gonna be a part of that. Like, that's like gay. And then I left. My point is this, besides that, I've heard of nothing about them. So maybe they're not like, maybe if everyone else is Coke, they're Pepsi, you know? Like they're just as evil and fucked up as everything else, and like unscrupulous and dishonest, and power hungry, and gay as everyone else. But they have like one good guy here. Who knows? It's possible. Because and this is why I think it's possible. This is all I can think about. I get it. I get it. Cameras are on, right? It's all an act. Watch. So he introduces himself. And I remember thinking like, so I watched this, and I was like more listening to it, and I paused it pretty much right after he finished the spiel. My whole thought was like when is someone gonna like just say like, that's the dumbest fucking thing I've heard in my entire life after a spiel like that? Like no longer even try to engage in it, to be like, that's the most like evil, retarded viewpoint I've ever heard. I thought, man, I wish he would do that, but he's obviously not going to. Like Charlie's like a debater, he's like a thinking guy, he's like, you know, goes to college campuses and debates kids, like he's like a smarty pants. He's gonna be like, don't you know about the 1956 project to we were funded by $6 billion, played to 4 different you know, it's gonna be something so like smarty pants. It's gonna be like, whatever, dude, I ain't listening to this. But then watch what actually happens.
Remarks because to squeeze the interest, much of that to last, to suppress the interest of capitalism, and eventually get to the point where the need of the state itself is irrelevant.
Okay. How much of that do you believe?
Oh, 100%.
Okay. How much of that do you believe?
Oh, 100%.
All of it. So you're just like,
To the point where the need of the state itself is irrelevant.
okay. How much of that do you believe?
Oh, 100%.
All of it. So you're just like a full-fledged Marxist.
100%.
So
Itself is irrelevant.
okay. How much of that do you believe?
Oh, 100%.
All of it. So you're just like a full-fledged Marxist.
100%.
So everything Marx wrote?
I mean, not necessarily every
Okay,
single word.
well, just so I can understand, just so we can make this constructive. Like, just tell me your political philosophy when it comes to Marxism.
Well, I think that really is my philosophy, and we really have to look at like not necessarily Marx, who's the
Or Engels,
theoretician,
or-
right? Not even necessarily Engels. We also have to look at the practitioners of Marxism, right? So those people being like, obviously Lenin, Mao. Today,
Oh, you're a big fan of Mao?
Mao's a pretty interesting character.
How
but
many people did
obviously-
he murder?
How many people did he murder? Let's imagine that you're a serial murderer in the USSR, right? Let's imagine, and then you go to the Gulag, right? What's the
No,
easiest
I'm not imagining.
opportunity-
I'm talking about
Yeah.
pastors. I'm talking about
No.
people
'cause,
that
like,
have.
this is the reality. Because like if you want
No,
to talk
it's
about,
not the
like,
reality.
There's
I'm
plenty of
talking.
documentaries. Like look, for example, right? For example, okay.
So I'm just gonna make-
Radio
just-
Free Europe. Radio Free Europe
So-
did this really great interview session where they literally went to people that were in these gulags, and it was so funny because when Radio Free Europe puts out this video about these people who used to live in the gulags, they asked them, what do you think about Stalin?
And they basically said, because remember, right? You remember that the USSR was invaded by the Nazis, right? And you also
yes,
remember
and then
that
they deterred the invasion.
you
But what
also
happened
remember
before
that
that?
the USSR
They wiped out.
had
They
a
almost wiped
civil
out
war,
all
right?
of Ukraine.
You also realize
wait,
they
hold
have
on.
a civil war,
The Civil
right?
War was between the Bolsheviks and the Mensheviks because they couldn't determine what blend of communism they wanted.
Okay.
After they
You know-
overthrew the Romanov dynasty, right?
Well,
It
you
was
also have the White Army. Do you know what the White Army is?
I'm very familiar with the White Army.
You know, the Radio Free Europe
So-
did this really great interview session where they literally went to people that were in these gulags. And it was so funny because when Radio Free Europe puts out this video about, oh, these people who used to live in the gulags, they asked them, oh, what do you think about Stalin? And they basically said, because remember, right? You remember that the USSR was invaded by the Nazis, right? And you also
yes,
remember
and then
that
they deterred the invasion.
you
But what
also
happened
remember
before
that
that?
the USSR
They wiped out.
had
They
a
almost wiped
civil
out
war,
all
right?
of Ukraine.
You also realize
wait,
they
hold
have
on.
a civil war,
The Civil
right?
War was between the Bolsheviks and the Mensheviks because they couldn't determine what blend of communism they wanted.
Okay.
After they
You know-
overthrew the Romanov dynasty, right?
Well,
It
you
was
also have the White Army. Do you know what the White Army is?
I'm very familiar with the White Army.
You know the royalists, the people that were
Yes,
trying to.
of course, but
Okay,
I'm
like,
just.
so
we'll
hold up.
close
So
on
if
this
you have
topic.
a civil war,
but
are you going to put
I just
people
want to
in
reinforce
jail
for the audience here,
if they start
which
a civil
is
war in your country?
you.
I know the United States
you
doesn't like to jail insurrectionists. but
Remarkably,
that's what they did in the U.S.
just made an argument that was pro Gulag, and
yeah, they had a prison system. That's
I
correct.
it kind of does explain some of your other views because we're just living on different planets, like Team Reality, Team Narnia.
So
quite honestly,
how is our prison system better?
wait, hold on a second. For example, you got a lawyer. We have an independent judiciary. You have a jury of your peers. You know what a show trial is?
Do we have
What is
an
a show trial?
independent judiciary?
Hold on, what's a show trial?
What's a show trial?
Yeah.
I don't know. Ask Steven Donziger.
Who was General Tukhachevsky that Stalin
Ask
took up?
Steven Donziger. You think the United States doesn't do show trials? Look at Guantanamo. What are those
Hold on a
people
second.
doing
What
in
you're trying to do
Guantanamo
is
Bay?
indict the entire Western legal tradition and conflate it with the Leninist, Stalinist. We're going to kill half the population we don't like. Look,
No,
you can
what
have.
you're trying to do is you're trying to take a country that had to deal with a civil war, that had to.
Hey, it's your dry skin. Help me stay hydrated.
With the Leninist, Stalinist, we're going to kill half the population we don't like. Look,
No,
you can
what
have.
you're trying to do is you're trying to take a country that had to deal with a civil war, that had to deal with an invasion, and compare that to the
No.
United States today.
I'll close.
Are you both talks cool when he says that? For the only time in the whole debate, as far as I've seen so far.
Population we don't like. Look,
No,
you can
what
have.
you're trying to do is you're trying to take a country that had to deal with a civil war, that had to deal with an invasion, and compare that to the United States today.
I'll close.
That's a good point to make. I wonder if it goes anywhere.
With this, you are defending genocide, which is quite honestly a remarkable
No,
thing to see in
hold
real
up.
time.
Stop right here,
You are
because,
defending
look,
genocide of Joseph Stalin
let's
and
be
Vladimir
very, very
Lenin,
clear.
the intentional destruction and
See,
killing of 65 million
this is
people.
what I'm talking about.
And no, there's no middle ground in genocide. That's your opinion.
Moving on. Has there ever been a successful example of Marxist theory in action where the workers are truly empowered?
Yeah, 100%,
Where?
most definitely. Like, so first and foremost, we have obviously the brave Vietnam soldiers that defended themselves.
The Viet Cong?
Defended themselves against the invading American army, which was basically there to punish them for daring to free themselves from French colonial rule.
Wait, so hold on. How did that work out?
What do you mean? How did that work?
So
out?
I mean, so no, seriously, the Ho Chi Minh City under
French colonial rule.
Wait, so hold on. How did that work out?
What do you mean? How did that work out?
So I mean, so no, seriously, the Ho Chi Minh City under communist rule, better then or better now?
What do you mean, better then or better now?
Was was Ho Chi Minh a better place under Viet Cong rule or better now under more kind of Western?
Who do you think is in?
It's crazy how skillful that is. It really blows my mind. Like, instead of, but at first I thought, the thing that all like he's doing is like throwing out any random fact. Because you can do that. That's what Redditors think everyone's doing. That's why they suck at debating. Because what they see when people successfully debate is like someone just throwing out random facts, but that's because their IQ is too low. So they like Redditors genuinely don't understand what's actually going on at a point that is that relevant is being made. He's not just saying communism bad because Vietnam bad. He's saying the part that you're arguing specifically is the part that doesn't work out in the end. That's why I like this debate, because a lot of the points that he makes are cool because that's all he really does. He like he actually says something fucking relevant and like makes a firm argument at each turn. And so it does start to feel less like what he's doing is just saying things his side will like. That's Charlie, like we're talking about. Dude, you better shut the fuck up all the time. You got to. It's so goddamn fucking annoying. It's so fucking annoying. Jesus Christ. What he's doing is he's not like just saying stuff that are like they would make his side of the aisle cheer. He's specifically talking about the specific things that this person who is completely opposed to his viewpoint is saying, and debunking those points. And I suspect that there are a few conservatives whom you really can't call that because they are actually dedicated to some floor level morality, and conservatism does happen to be a good identity at that spot. I could imagine that. I just think that if those people vote, well then it would just have to be that they don't vote too much or they stop it. Or they vote very, what would I say, like intricate, like they vote with a very high, they're very thorough in their voting decisions. You'd have to be. I'd be interested in finding that out.
In charge of Vietnam right now.
I mean, it's a generally much freer country than it was 50, 60 years ago.
Oh, that's weird. When did the Communist Party lose power in Vietnam?
Well, hold on. They've industrialized it. Better then or better now?
What do you mean, better then or better now?
Was it?
Oh, I don't know what the point was. Maybe the point is that it's democratized now, and that's better. I can't remember, but here's my point.
Was Ho Chi Minh a better place under Viet Cong rule or better now under more kind of Western?
Who do you think is in charge of Vietnam right now?
I mean, it's a generally much freer country than it was 50, 60 years ago.
Oh, that's weird. When did the Communist Party lose power in Vietnam?
Well, hold on. They've industrialized their country. They've opened themselves up to international trade. They actually have fair and free elections. Like, I'm not going to say Vietnam's a perfect country, but post-Viet Cong rule, their standard of living has increased.
So you think
infant mortality has gone down.
You think maybe perhaps Agent Orange had something to do with some of the struggles he had? Do you think that maybe the sanctions from the United States of America cutting off supplies to food maybe had something to do with
got it. So America's always the villain. So besides the Viet Cong, which is a new one, I'll be honest, where else does communism work?
China. Look at China.
Okay, what about China works with?
Aside from the fact that China's the strongest economy in the world right now, there's obviously the fact that average wages in China have tripled over the past decade.
So before we go any further, do you really want to defend the Chinese Communist Party against me?
Sure.
Okay, got it. So,
I might change my mind. I don't know. Because this is random.
Uyghur Muslims, how do you feel about them?
Oh, no, it's not. The point he keeps making about communistic countries is that they do things like arrest people for religious belief. They'll arrest political dissenters. See, that's what I mean. The point that he's making isn't irrelevant at all. It's like specific. Because I could just be like, China, you want to work in a phone factory? That's what I would say. Because I don't know anything. I'd probably just go like this, actually. Oh yeah, I guess China is doing pretty good. Maybe there's something to this communism thing. I'd probably say that because I don't know anything. He says, what about the Uyghur Muslims? And I go, wait, can't you be arrested for religious affiliation in China? That would be a religious and ethnic one, I forget. Wow. It's either ethnic or religious or both. You can't, I don't know. I don't know if I trust that there's really apps that... I thought that was a joke Sam Hyde made. I didn't know that was real. I thought he said it was a joke. No, actually two of the things he said were a joke. That one was real. You can't be close to other people who are political dissenters. Everyone's marked like a score. Freaky. Pretending to be God. Freaky. Freaky.
So you're pro-concentration camp?
No, not pro-concentration.
Okay, so where are the Uyghur Muslims right now?
Do you know what the East Turkmenistan movement is?
Don't change topic.
I'm not. This is the same topic.
Uyghur Muslims.
You don't know that the East Turkmenistan movement was labeled by the United States of America as a terrorist organization.
Oh, got it. Okay, so pro-concentration
inside
camp.
of China.
Got it. What about
That's
the
not
one-child policy for
Hold
40
up.
years?
No. We need to stop right here because first and foremost, you pushed earlier the double genocide theory, which, by the way, Holocaust scholars have very
You are pro-genocide, but anyway.
No. Stop right here.
Saying no doesn't make it right.
The double genocide theory is literally Nazi propaganda. The whole idea was to say
pro-genocide, but anyway.
No. Stop right here.
Saying no doesn't make it right.
The double genocide theory is literally Nazi propaganda. The whole idea was to say that the obvious, mismanagement of a famine, they're trying to equate that to the invasion and the mass murder committed by the Nazis. They're literally Nazis that intentionally push that theory. Why do you think that Israel, to this very day, actually has tensions with specific people in Ukraine who are pushing that double genocide theory? Because the truth is, a famine and the mismanagement of resources
I'm talking about, in addition, mass graves, gulags, and all that. But let's talk about the CCP.
Genocide.
So let's talk about the CCP. So you're cool with the one-child policy?
It doesn't matter what I'm cool with. The reality is...
No. That was a policy of the CCP for years, where they would murder another child if you had more than one.
Wait. So chat. If Marx was a Jew and Lenin was a Jew, guys, what the fuck was going on in the fucking 1930s through 40s? Because wasn't this going on in the Soviet Union the same time that this was going on in Germany? Do you see what I'm driving at here? I'm finally being literal, not just conspiratorial. Why don't we ever talk about the idea that this was what Jews were doing before the Holocaust happened? I'm confused by that. And I don't want to think about it. Those aren't Jews, man. I don't know. Those aren't Jews. Those might be. These might be the Jews, though. God damn, dude. Get off, yeah. I mean, you know what I mean? You get so deep in that conspiracy shit, you might have to go take an antidote. This is an antidote. Read about this. Read what happened with these guys. Where can you read it? Oh, there's a book online. Not too much time. Huh. Actually, you got it. Read this. Start there. Then read all this too. Read this whole left side first. Take you about 4 years. Stressing. Alright, good work.
And healthy looking all day with CeraVe facial moisturizing lotions.
Family fun, vacation, you can fight inflation. Find a home, student loans, use your imagination. Debt relief, wedding bells, loans for all those new car smells. Pay your bills, fund your thrills, stop your procrastination. Fixer-uppers, car repairs, things...
Should really show them. Easy. Yeah. What's that? I see. it makes me want to like tune down a drop D or something. I'll write that in too. And what's the verses?
Next to your fire. Yeah, get on with it, over. Stand, let me stand next to your fire. Stand, yeah, let me stand, oh, let me stand. I'll move over, and let Jimmy take over. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, get on with it, baby. That's what I'm talking about. I dig it. Give me your money, you bet. I am the only one I burn desire. Let me stand next to your fire.
One kid.
Look, what we need to understand is that China is a democracy, and they are going to make laws
Well, no, hold on a second.
based
Wait,
off of their
how are they
individual material
How are they a
conditions.
democracy exactly?
Are you kidding me? Aside from the fact that the central government has a 95% approval rating, which, by the way, before you're like, oh, but
Have you
they're
have you
forced
been to
to.
China?
No.
No.
No, of course
Oh,
I
so you
haven't.
must be a subject matter expert.
I'm not.
Yeah. So it's interesting. So
No.
okay. So they're a democracy. Do they have senators or congressmen
What does it
in
take?
China?
Well, there's about 1,000 members of their National People's Congress, and then obviously they have a system of local people's
And
Congresses.
so you don't think those
But
elections
no,
are
I'm going
rigged?
to test you. What does it take to get on the ballot in China?
What is it? A lot of money, power, and influence in killing the right people.
Oh, that's weird, because it's actually illegal to spend money on campaigning in China. There's actually a very specific answer to this.
you think that a dissident Chinese person could run up against Xi Jinping right now? So let me ask you a question.
How do you
you're
think,
you're
no, no,
pro
no. How do you
CCP.
think-
So you think it's okay?
How do you think elections work? How do you think elections work in China?
How do you? It's very simple. You're born into the right family. You have connections to the right people.
You can't answer.
What's Xi Jinping's
What
lineage?
does it take to get on the ballot in China?
You have to have the right
You don't know
connections.
the answer.
Yes, I do.
No,
I do know. You can't
Have
just
you-
all of a sudden pop up.
Have you read the law? Have you
What-
read their
what
law?
happened to
I
tank men
actually
at
have
Tien-
actually
Hold on a
read
second.
through. No.
You think the law actually
Here's
applies?
Chat. Okay.
So what happened to the Tiananmen Square?
Listen, this is the answer.
What
This
happened
is
to
the answer
Tiananmen
that
Square?
Charlie Kirk doesn't know because he has no idea how democracy
What happened to
works in China.
Tiananmen Square?
You need to get
How about
10
Tibet?
signatures to get on the ballot in China. That's it, 10 signatures. How
How-
many people does it take to start a recall in China?
How many temples did they destroy in Tibet?
How many?
So you think you could recall Xi Jinping?
How many people do you think it takes to
You
get
understand,
a
I have to be
recall?
honest, you are such an unbelievable fool to believe that China actually has a democracy.
Well, look, here's the thing. They've tripled their average wages. They've eliminated extreme poverty. They have amassed popular support in China. They have the strongest economy in the world. And right now, they are.
How many people
through
live in abject
peaceful
poverty in Western
international
China?
trade, through
More
peaceful
people than the
international
population
trade.
of America do not have access to clean water or toilets, and that's your idea of lifting people out of poverty. Let me ask you this question. 26 million people forcibly locked down in Shanghai. Cats are being put into entire bags and murdered. If you have COVID, that's your idea of a good society? 26 million people being forcibly locked down in China
How
at a
many
moment's
people
notice?
are permanently disabled because of COVID in the United States? How many people died in
I don't
the
know.
United
Ask
States?
the country that designed the virus,
How many-
your favorite country,
You
the
think they
CCP.
designed the virus?
Where did it come from?
What do you mean, where did it come from? Like, you
Where
gotta be
did the
different.
virus
So
come
you're
from?
peddling conspiracy theories. Look, I have
No,
a
no,
ma-
no, no.
look,
What?
hold
Co-
up,
no, what
hold
country
up.
did it come from?
I have a master's degree in biosecurity and biodefense.
Oh, so you must be so
okay?
smart. Where did the country come from?
No,
Where
no,
did it
no.
come from?
Here's the thing, Charlie. Listen up. Did you know that there were American scientists working in that lab?
Oh, what's the name of the lab?
In the Wuhan
Oh,
lab.
so it came from China.
It came from China. Yeah.
Oh,
disease
so
come
it's
from all
the
over place.
Chinese virus.
No, it's not the Chinese
What
virus.
country did it come from then?
How many strains of coronavirus are there? Like, how many types of coronavirus are there?
There's plenty. There's Omicron, there's COVID-19, there's the original strain, but it was
No,
originally
the original
developed.
strains. No, see, you've listed 3.
There's-
The reality is.
Never wonder why the point even got brought up. Like, hey, look, we looked at the whole genetic code and it's not a synthetic virus. It's not a man-made virus. So, maybe a man-made pandemic.
There's different types of coronaviruses that
Developed in what
exist in
lab?
the world, that aren't developed anywhere. Like
No,
cats have their own
no,
coronaviruses.
of course, but which one was developed in the
dogs
lab
have
in
their
China?
own coronaviruses. There's no, like, you think that the American scientists that were working in that same lab right next to those Chinese scientists, you think that they were secretly malicious
No. See, you're putting
hold
words in
up.
my mouth. Hold on.
No,
did it
no.
come from a lab or not, or did it come from a Himalayan
No,
bat
of
lab?
course it didn't come from a lab.
Oh, you think it didn't come from a lab?
No, yeah, because
Oh,
I
so
live in
you-
a real world.
you
I live in
are
a
an
real
idiot.
world, okay? I live in the real
Like,
world.
you understand that every single person worth their salt looks at the strain and they understand that this was bioengineered in a lab. Fauci himself agrees to that.
What do you think would tell me? Because apparently you're the biologist here, right? How do you
Well,
tell
I do
the
know what a
difference-
man and a woman is. Do you?
Tell me the difference, okay? Tell me the difference between, how do you tell the difference between a man-made virus and a non-man-made virus?
There's a lot. Sequencing, everything from how it's compiled,
What
mRNA
sequences?
type technology.
What sequences?
So according
What
to
type of sequences are you
According to
looking
Anthony
for?
Fauci's own emails to Hugh Albatross on January 31st, on Friday evening, he said, quote, "This has every single marker of a man-made laboratory-created virus." That's Anthony.
Sequences, okay. Tell me the difference between, how do you tell the difference between a man-made virus and a non-man-made virus?
There's a lot. Sequencing, everything from how it's compiled,
What
mRNA
sequences?
type technology.
What sequences?
So according
What
to
type of sequences are you
According to
looking
Anthony
for?
Fauci's own emails to Hugh Albatross on January
virus and a non-man-made virus.
There's a lot. Sequencing, everything from how it's compiled, mRNA-type technology.
So what type of sequences are you
according to
looking
Anthony
for?
Fauci's own emails to Hugh Albatross on January 31st, on Friday evening, he said, quote, "This has every single marker of a man-made laboratory-created virus." That's
What is he talking about?
The sequences
according to Anthony Fauci's own emails to Hugh Albatross.
Who is Hugh Albatross? Whoa. What? Whoa. Whoa. Look. What is this the White House's, or the, not White House, but is this Congress's page? What the fuck?
Subcommittee is holding a hearing to examine the drafting, publication, and critical reception of the publication entitled "The Proximal Origin of SARS-CoV-2." Proximal origin came to two primary conclusions. First, that COVID-19 is not a laboratory construct or a purposefully manipulated virus. And second, that no type of laboratory-based scenario is plausible. This is not an attack on science, it's not an attack on peer review, and it's not an attack on an individual. We're examining whether government officials, regardless of who they are, unfairly and perhaps biasly tip the scales toward a preferred origin theory. We're examining any conflicts of interest, biases, or suppression of scientific discourse regarding the origins of COVID-19. And we're examining the science of proximal origin, because while I believe it's not solely a scientific question, the science behind the origins is vital. In one word, we're examining the scientific methodology applied to the origins question. In my mind, at this point, I view the processes to be flawed. If we're to do better in the future, we must make every effort to mend our flaws. And overall, we're examining whether scientific integrity was disregarded in favor of political expediency, maybe to conceal or diminish the government's relationship with the Wuhan Institute of Virology, or perhaps its funding of risky gain-of-function coronavirus research.
Can you believe that? It's literally the smoking gun for the whole fucking pandemic, dude. Dude. And we found out. Oh man, I hope it still exists.
My guest tonight is Jon Stewart.
Oh my God, there's nothing I wanted to do more than breathe everyone's air.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. This is what I know about you. This is what I know about you. We are truly dear friends, and yet this is the first time I've seen you in the flesh in 15 months.
That is correct.
Right.
And I am so really happy. And I know we're all vaccinated, and I'm not going to get COVID, but I'm going to get something. I'm honestly, these people did not take good care of themselves during the pandemic.
Last time, well, actually, the first time we talked during COVID, I was still in South Carolina. And
That's right.
and
You were locked down.
I was locked down there, and the family, Evie and the kids, were the actual crew.
That's right.
That's how we were doing it. We're doing it in a little unused little bedroom with cables through the window and a satellite truck on our lawn. And I mean, like the room was twice the size of this desk. I think I'm not joking. Chris could tell you it's really tiny. But the point was like just to get it done, to get something out there. We really wanted to do the show. And when I interviewed you for it, you were talking about how little progress we've made in science in combating pandemics, because in 1918, the advice was wear a mask, wash your hands.
That's right.
And 100 years later, 103 years later, wear a mask, wash your hands.
It was soul crushing to find that out. I was really hoping that, like in 1918, they'd be like, drink a tincture of mercury and butterfly juice. Like, I was hoping it'd be like some bizarre thing, and I'm like, we've come a long way, baby. It's the exact same.
How do you feel about the science now,
Well, so I will say this. And I honestly mean this. I think we owe a great debt of gratitude to science. Science has, in many ways, helped ease the suffering of this pandemic, which was more than likely caused by science. So, and that's kind of.
Hold on one second.
No. Now, listen.
It's coffee. I wouldn't do that to you. I wouldn't do that to you. What do you mean by that? Do you mean like perhaps there's a chance that this was created in a lab? There's an investigation.
A chance?
Well, but
oh my
if
God.
there is evidence, I'd love to hear it.
There's a novel respiratory coronavirus overtaking Wuhan, China. What do we do? Oh, you know who we could ask? The Wuhan novel respiratory coronavirus lab. The disease is the same name as the lab. That's just a little too weird, don't you think? And then they ask the scientists, they're like, how did this, so wait a minute, you work at the Wuhan respiratory coronavirus lab. How did this happen? And they're like, a pangolin kissed a turtle. And you're like, no, the name of your lab, if you look at the name, let me see your business card. Show me your business card. Oh, I work at the coronavirus lab in Wuhan. Oh, because there's a coronavirus loose in Wuhan. How did that happen? Maybe a bat flew into the cloaca of a turkey and then it sneezed into my chili and now we all have coronavirus. Like, come on. Okay.
Wait a second.
What about this? What about this? Listen to this.
Wait a second.
All right.
John.
Oh my God. There's been an outbreak of chocolatey goodness near Hershey, Pennsylvania. What do you think happened? Like, oh, I don't know. Maybe a steam shovel mated with a cocoa bean. Or it's the chocolate factory. Maybe that's it.
That could be. That could be. That could
By
be.
the way, I gave them all tuberculosis.
That could very well be, and Anthony Fauci and Francis Collins at NIH have said, like, it should definitely be investigated.
Don't stop with the logic and people and things. The name of the disease.
Wait a second.
The building.
Wait a second. But it could be possible, you could be right, it could be possible that they have the lab in Wuhan to study the novel coronavirus diseases because in Wuhan, there are a lot of novel coronavirus diseases because of the bat population there.
I understand.
It's like the saying,
it's
like,
a
wait
local
a second.
specialty, and it's the only place to find bats. You won't find bats
No, but
anywhere
it's like
else.
saying,
oh,
why?
wait, Austin, Texas has thousands of them that fly out of a cave every night. Every night at dusk. Is there a coronavirus, an Austin coronavirus? No, it doesn't seem to be an Austin coronavirus. The only coronavirus we have is in Wuhan.
Yes.
Where they have a lab called, what's the lab called again, Stephen?
The Wuhan Novel Coronavirus Lab.
I believe that's the case.
And now, how long have you...
So did they like change the name or something? Yeah. It was called that before. I remember. I'm glad I saved that video. That's kind of weird. But wait, when did this come out? Was it after the fucking committee? When the fuck did this come out? Yeah, no, it wasn't. This came out in 2023, so who cares what this says? It already said that it was a non-scientific claim. When did this come out? Okay. Oh, this is a non-scientific claim. But it did say this. But it's just talking about this one paper. But there's a lab. And it already did happen. Wait, so you start there, but then you end there? What?
Likely caused by science.
What do you
takes?
Well, what?
A chance.
Well, but
oh my
if there
God.
is evidence, I'd love to hear it.
There's
I just don't know.
a novel respiratory coronavirus overtaking Wuhan, China. What do we do? Oh, you know who we could ask? The Wuhan novel respiratory coronavirus lab. The disease is the same name as the lab.
So I don't know what happened there, because it definitely was named that. And I remember that too, but this shows nothing about that. Anyway. However, Which leads us back to the beginning. It's the House Oversight Committee, .gov website. Holy fuck. Look at that too. I didn't read that yet. Dude. It's a fucking false flag. The flag being that of a random viral outbreak. Why? Why? Why would it be... Why would they suppress that? Why would Dr. Anthony Fauci suppress that? He's American. Like, what's going on? So it was definitely leaked from a lab? I mean, it must have been. If it still hasn't been disproven, and it's the fucking origin of the goddamn pandemic. And it was literally called that, I'm telling you. Yo. Now, I don't know what this is, but listen to this. I can't find this. One sec. Is that the name he said? No, what the fuck was it?
Tell me the difference. Tell me the difference. Okay. Tell me the difference between how do you tell the difference between a man-made virus and a non-man-made virus?
There's a lot. Sequencing, everything from how it's compiled, mRNA-type technology.
So what type of sequences are you
according to
looking
Anthony
for?
Fauci's own emails to Hugh Albatross on
Are this made up?
technology.
What
So
what type of sequences are you
according to
looking
Anthony
for?
Fauci's own emails to Hugh Albatross on January 31st, on Friday evening, he said, quote, "This has every single marker of a man-made laboratory-created virus." That's
On January 31st, what? You said on Friday evening. You know, it was a day. Is that fake? Is this fake?
Sequences
according to Anthony Fauci's own emails to Hugh Albatross on January 31st, on Friday evening, he said, quote, "This has every single marker of a man-made laboratory-created virus." That's Anthony Fauci's own declassified emails to the CDC and the NIH. Not to mention...
Why does this come up though, if I'm not even... Oh, he just said the name wrong. Where is it? Somewhere in here. It'd be January 31st. He even said on Friday. Well, I mean, that's nothing. I mean, way out is. So he's talking about that one. Where is it January 30? Well, then what? Wait. The work he had funded in China? This is so interesting. I gotta get off here, but still, this is so interesting. I'm fucking breaking the computer right now. Didn't he fund it himself? this something else then? I don't even know anymore. In Wuhan. This is weird. This is weird. I can't even think about this anymore. This is crazy. I gotta peace out.